Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Morgan here at The Life of Tillmans. I'm bringing you guys a February update that is late because things hit in March and we went camping, and I'll talk about that in next month's video, but I just wasn't ready. So I'm bringing it to you now. I'm probably not even going to edit this unless I do something completely weird in the video, which happens. That does happen. So I have written everything down because I also have mom brain and I forget things. If it's not written down, it's not going to happen. So if this is your first time, welcome to The Life of Tillmans. My name is Morgan. If you've been here before, welcome back. I appreciate you guys' support. It really helps my household. And so let's move on. The first thing is recap. If you want to know where we are with a lot of things in more detail, and to really follow the progress, I'm going to link down below my monthly updates video, and that way you can just peruse that at your leisure to kind of figure out how things have been going. So the first thing I am going to talk about is curriculum. And I feel like, you guys, we are in the home stretch. This is March. We are in the home stretch. I'm literally not making any changes. If it is not working by now, it's not going to work, but we are still going to use it. And luckily I can say that we have really worked out quite a few of the kinks. I know that sometimes at the end of a curricula, things can be a little bit more challenging. Our children may have a hard time grasping some of the concepts. We have to spend a little bit more time on it. So I'm kind of expecting that, or ready for it. I don't really expect it, but I'm ready for it if it happens. But we're not changing anything. So you won't see any last minute curriculum changes over here. We are almost to the point to where everything will be done around the beginning of May, maybe toward the middle of May. But things are about to start dropping off at the end of this month. And when I mean that, I mean, there's just certain subjects that we're going to finish. And it's kind of this stair-step process of getting out of the curriculum for the year. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of it because it makes you have to be ready for the next thing. And because we move into our next curricula, we take about a week off and we do games and fun things or whatever we want to do in that subject matter. And then we move on to the next level. So there's really not a whole big break or anything. So that's kind of how we ended up into this stair-step process in the first place. But it's okay because I'm ready for it. We've gone through this for the last 3 years or so. So it's not a new thing for us. And so we are just going to power through. It's that time of year. We're pushing through. No changes. So don't expect any over here. I will not hit you with any surprises like that. All right. So I'm also in the process of searching for curriculum. I'm narrowing it down. I have a couple of areas where I'm just like, I really don't know. But make sure you subscribe because I am going to go ahead and kick out videos of things that I'm considering. And that way you guys know where my thought process is. And also it's really helpful when you guys comment and say, hey, have you thought about this? Because even as a creator, you guys, I can research, and I'm researching for my home. I'm not researching curricula just to share it with you guys here on YouTube. If I'm not going to use it in my home, it does not fit any of my girls' learning styles. It is not something that we are truly interested in. You will not see it on this channel. Period. Hands down. That is it. And so I am researching for my girls specifically. And there's just some areas where I just don't know. I really don't know. My girls are changing, especially my older two, just really changing and coming into their own. And I'm seeing, areas where they are really thriving and areas where they're, meeting the level. I say average, and that's great. I don't mind that. And so I really try to lean towards the areas where they show interest and are excelling. And I want to challenge them in those areas as well. They get challenged in everything. But when I see an area where my daughters are like, this is really where I want to be, I'm like, okay, let's go and let's see if we can push it a little bit to really challenge them. Also, if you see that your child is bored, I have one, and I'll talk about that later, but who I felt like she was just getting bored. And I know that it's because she is exceeding the level for where she is right now. And I love it. It's a beautiful thing to watch. What else is going on? Outside of that, that's it. We don't have any more breaks scheduled. We had to abort our 7 weeks on, 8 weeks off kind of schedule thing. So that just leads me right into schedules. But we kind of had to break that up because we got sick at the beginning of the year and we've taken some extra days off. Like we took extra days off for camping. And so we're having to just readjust. I did love that schedule. It worked. but I'm not sure that it worked when we decide that we want to just like, do stuff. So you can't take too many days off. And that's how I feel about our homeschool, is that there's only a certain amount of days that we can really just like not do anything. And mental health days and I'm tired and sick days, that all goes into it. It's like working a 9 to 5, so you have so many days. Otherwise you find yourself moving into the next school year, not because your child had a hard time grasping the concept, but simply because you just didn't finish in time. And personally, for me in our household, it just doesn't sit well with me. So we have to power through right now because we've taken a lot of time off. And I don't count the sick time as choosing, because I would never choose sickness. I'll say that. But it is time that I had to factor into where we are for curriculum. Also, schedules is the next thing. Oh, let me back up. So see, this is my brain when I don't edit. But I wanted to follow a format for my monthly videos, and I started doing that in the beginning of this school year, and then I just lost it. So I'm going back to the format. So the first thing on the format was curriculum update. The next thing on the format is schedules. So I've already talked about our school schedule and the 7 weeks on, 8th week off thing, but also we have a new cleaning schedule. It's working. Do you want to know who put it together? Not me. It was my children. They put together our cleaning and our cooking schedule, and it's working. I just simply sat down with them because I felt like the options that I was giving them, although they said, yes, this is great, it just was not happening. And so I finally just said, here it is. Here are the things that need to be done. Split them up amongst us all. I included myself in that. And so just one thing for cooking, I have dinner, which is perfect because it gives them an opportunity to wind down from the day and also finish up schoolwork that they may have, prepare for extracurriculars if they have anything in the evening. Yes, I get wind down time as well, but dinner is just better suited for me. It also allows me to shut down my kitchen. I am the last one to clean, so any crumbs that get left for breakfast, lunch, snacks, all the things, I get to get them. I also it just gives me a good look at what's going on and what we have for the next couple of days. There's just a lot. So I have one my early riser, she took breakfast, which makes sense. She's the first one up in the morning of the girls. So why not take breakfast? And then my middle daughter is taking lunch because, my oldest daughter is taking lunch. Middle daughter is breakfast. But oldest daughter is taking lunch because she's able to usually get her work done a little bit faster and she can run down and get lunch together. So the schedule was made by my children. So I encourage you. It's very empowering for them to know that they can put together cleaning schedules and meal schedules and all the things, and it works for them and they're more apt to do it. I mean, my girls go in there without me having to say a lot of the time, like, who's on breakfast cleanup? Who's on lunch cleanup? Oh, my watch keeps going off. All the things. And so that's been a really good schedule change. Another schedule change, which I talked about this first semester, but we've really been consistent with it this semester, is we do Bible after breakfast and then we go right into family subjects. So that will be our history and our science and anything else we decide to add on. And then we move into independent subjects. Before it was Bible and then we went to independent subjects. And then in the afternoon, lunch to after lunch, we would then go into family subjects. Well, I found that a lot of the time, maybe 50% of the time, we would not get to family subjects. And this is just like a mismanagement of time is what I'll say. My nose is itching. But a mismanagement of time in that my girls just weren't done with their independent subjects in the evening or the early afternoon. And so we weren't getting to family subjects because they still had work to do. So I didn't like that. I felt like it restricted me and the things that I need to do outside of our homeschool. And so I switched it up and it's worked. And so now if they don't get their work done in the evening, they have to work through the evening until they get it done, and that's on them, and they're responsible for that. I have seen a shift in their focus and their behavior with this new schedule because they know that mom's going to continue on with the day into the evening, and they have to either get on board or they're going to be sitting doing all of their work still. So it's a hard lesson to learn, I think, for them, but it's been working. And another thing is that my youngest daughter, she really has shifted in her learning time, and she actually enjoys doing some things in the evening or the early afternoon. And so we'll do some things in the morning and then we'll do some in the early afternoon, and that's been working great with us doing family subjects first. So I challenge you, if the schedule's not working, maybe flip it a little bit and see, and also give your children an opportunity to make up schedules and processes and plans and see how that works out for your household. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is, extracurriculars, electives, just life in general. And so we are on the extracurricular train. I tell people all the time, this is just something that we love doing. Yes, it can be super busy, but we just love it. So my youngest daughter just finished her basketball season the month of February, like, I don't know, mid-February or something. So she's done with that. And now she is into soccer. So we have soccer for baby girl along with gymnastics for baby girl. And then for my oldest daughter and my middle daughter, we have volleyball with the YMCA. And then my oldest daughter decided to play basketball again. So she is going to be playing basketball with her previous coach and team for about 5 months. And then that'll be it. And this will be probably the last opportunity for her to play underneath this coach for basketball. So that was really the motivation for her to go back, because we just love her so much. She's more than just a coach. She has become a really great friend of mine and someone that we really cherish in our family. And my daughter played under her for basketball for like 6 years. So there's a big relationship there that has grown. And so she's going to go back and play for a little while. And I love it. I mean, we went from a basketball family to a volleyball family, and now we're doing both in a lot of other areas. All of the girls are still in band, and that will end in May. And I feel like I'm forgetting something that somebody is doing. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So as far as electives, I added on electives at the beginning of the year, and I can't even remember what they are. I'll be 100% honest. We've just kind of been going with the flow. But one thing that has stayed, which I'm so grateful that we found it at the library, is my middle daughter is doing coding. And she has been doing a homeschool coding class every week for months now. I think she started October, I believe it was. And so every week she spends 1 hour coding at the library with other students. And it has just really helped her to excel in coding. I mean, she loves it. And so that's something we're going to continue. I love that our library provides us with activities to do specifically for homeschool students. We have a really large homeschool presence here in our state. And so the libraries and, museums and all of that, they really try to provide as much as they can for our homeschool community. And I love it. And we take advantage of it because it's free. So some other things are, the girls are doing a STEM class, a homeschool STEM class, every second Thursday of the month. They have done that for about 3 months now. And this past month, they did like some bionic hands. So they learned how, all the bones of the hand and how they moved and the joints and tendons and muscles. And it was awesome. And they created their own hand. So they are loving that. And we will do March, April, and May as well. And they take off for the summer. And do lots of other summer activities at the library. But that is another thing that they have been participating in that has just really been fun. And it just adds to our science. And so on those days, we don't do our regular science curriculum. And they have to come home and they write. They get to write a 1 to 2 paragraph essay about, this is for my older two, about what they learned and what they enjoyed and what they didn't like and just however they feel. So they get writing in along with their science and experiments and all the things. I also happen to have a kit from like a year ago that baby girl was able to do, even though she's not old enough to do the classes. She was able to do that. So she and I sat down with the library tables and she did it and had a great time. So they all got to do the same little activity. I don't have pictures printed off. If I get a wild hair, you guys, I will drop in the pictures of the different activities, but that's editing. So we'll see. Okay. I love y'all. I really, really do. Okay. What else? Flipping pages here. We've been doing lots of science experiments and a lot of time outside. We are just like, wake up and we're like, let's go do science outside. And it's great. We've had really good weather. And so I like to take advantage of that. I had said that that was one of the things that I wish we would have started sooner within our homeschool. And so we definitely take advantage of that right now. We have a huge field across the street from us that's just open to us. There is a little pavilion with a table, and we just do whatever we want. There are not many homeschool families in our neighborhood, so we don't have to fight for the space. So it's pretty awesome. Okay. Plans moving forward. This is my next part of my updates. I'm just going to stay the course, you guys. Stay the course. It feels like spring. I know officially it's not spring yet, but it feels like spring. And I get spring fever and I'm like, let's drop everything and go wash the car. I mean, I don't know. There are just so many things. Go to the park, go on a nature walk. And yes, you can turn those moments into learning opportunities, and we do, but they still have to do their math, y'all. Like, we still have to finish our language arts curriculum. You know, yes, we are still going to do those things in our home. And so I'm really trying to focus on staying the course while still getting outside and doing all the things. I just need to stay the course, because this is the time of year where burnout happens, and it is a real thing, and we get tired and we want to just throw it all away. But I'm not throwing it all away. We have worked all school year long, and we are going to finish what we started with what we started, and we're going to enjoy it. No, we really are enjoying it. But that is my plans moving forward, staying the course. And then also, we are going to, or I am working on looking for a curriculum. So that's really my focus now. I am still working to try to get in more field trips. Okay. So I lost my place. All right. So speaking of, we did take a field trip for the month of February. Yay. I was successful. Yes, we went to a contemporary arts museum, and it was for Black History Month, which was awesome because they had lots of Black art for us to look at. We learned a lot about agriculture and homesteading, which it made me sad, but I was also glad that we were able to experience it, because if you don't know, we did not do a garden this past summer, and we probably won't this year either. The girls really want to grow some like potatoes and some easier things, but we have a cat issue in our stray cats. We don't own any cats, but they pretty much use our garden bed for their litter box, and I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I don't want to harm the cats, of course, but I do want them out of my yard because I want to be able to use it for what we want to use it for. And we have neighbors who feed the cats, but they don't really take care of them because then the cats get sick and they make a bunch of babies all the time. It's just a big issue. And it became a really big expense, time consuming and expensive to try and keep them out of our garden. So we pulled up the old bed because it was rotted. The wood was starting to rot on it anyway. So we pulled it all up and leveled all the dirt and all of that. We do have one bed that we had started last year that we did leave that one down, but there's nothing in it. There's no dirt in it or anything. So I really don't know what to do. It was something that we really enjoyed, and it helped to get us outside even more. So it was a little sad to see that, but we had a great time. We also made some seed pods out of like clay. You wrap the clay around the seeds and everything, and you throw them out, and we did wildflowers. And so hopefully we'll get some wildflowers growing in our backyard that we can just enjoy and see all the pollinators and all the things. We also were able to do like self-portraits. So see, I do have some stuff to show y'all. Okay, so this was mine. Don't y'all laugh at me, okay? So we took, you had a mirror and you had this transparent thing, which is like, it just reminds me of like the old school transparencies when you were like in school and they would write on them in class or whatever. So one of those with a mirror, and you're looking at yourself and you're just kind of drawing, you know, tracing outline, and then you add in the paper on the back. So this was mine. This was really cool. I enjoyed this. This was Maggie, my middle daughter. Oh no, this was Brenna, my oldest daughter. This was Maggie, my middle daughter, and the littlest of the bunch came in with this one. So that was really fun. We're going to keep those. Those will go into their portfolios that we do at the end of the year. We love art. We don't do it as much at home as I would like to, but that was a really fun experience. So we learned a lot about gardening and agriculture and homesteading type of things. And then we got to do some crafts and seed pods. So it was a really fun day for us as a family. My husband was able to join because we went on a Saturday. So we got a field trip in. So now I just owe them like, you know, March April, May, and then an extra one. So 4 field trips. We'll see if I can get it in. I'm gonna get really creative around here, guys. Okay, so what we're reading. Let's talk about that. My youngest daughter has been reading the Mia Mayhem series. I say she's been reading. I'm reading that to her. We sit down and read it together. She loves it. Mia Mayhem is like this, amazing little superhero girl. So she loves that. She's also reading the Logic of English Foundations C readers that go along with the curriculum. And then I have the Preschool Prep Company Presents. That's a part of the video. But those readers, and she is on box number 3 and just blazing through those as well. So that's what she's been reading. My oldest 2, y'all, they have just been reading whatever they can get their hands on that is approved by mama. No lies told. I mean, I went to the library book sale in February, and they sell all these books for like super cheap. And so I grabbed, a few books for them. They just read whatever they can get their hands on. They do rereads if there's a book that they really love. We did not do a video for January, February reads, but we will get one out. It will probably be April, and I'll include January, February, and March in their 5th and 6th grade reads. So make sure you stick around for that. A lot of people say they love it. They let their children watch it. It's motivating. So I'm just happy to put it out there. It's not, one of the big hit videos or anything like that, but people love it. And so to me, that's what it's all about. My girls thrive off of seeing other children do amazing things as well. And I think that it's helpful for other kids. So that's what individual reading has been going on. As far as family reads, y'all, we are reading the historical fiction books that go along with the history curriculum that we are using. And we are in part 2 of the Our History, His Story curriculum by Belinda Bullard. I will link a video down below where I talk about part 1, but we're just reading historical fiction books, and they are very captivating. Yeah, we do it in the morning time. Like I said, we're doing our family subjects in the morning, and we read and we talk about those books, and we're really diving into those history activities. And that's where our reading is right now. So when we finish that curriculum, I don't know where we'll go. Let's talk about curriculum later, but I don't know where we'll go with history wise, but the books are really great. And a lot of them I've purchased, so we can always do this again. I'll probably do it again with my youngest in a few years. So she'll be at a different level, and even though she listens to them now and asks questions and all the things. So we're just going to do that. So that's what we've been reading. Me personally, as a mom, I am reading a book about boundaries. I am doing the Call to Love book. My husband and I are working through that book. It's like 40 days, a Call to Love. I don't know, something. I'll try to link it down below, but it's really good. It's so good, y'all. Just really gives you a different perspective on how to love God's way, and it's amazing. So we did a whole class at a church and everything. We weren't able to go to every single lesson, but we were able to watch videos, and we're just continuing to work through it. So really good book. All right, what else? Let's see. Pain points. There are always pain points, right? I choose not to focus heavily on them, but I choose to share them because it's real, and there's real things out there that cause pain points. All right. So one of my pain points is wearing so many hats. There's just a lot going on in our household, in our lives in general, and it's a little hard to manage. Also, decision fatigue. I talked about that before, but I'm just at that stage where it's not as bad as it used to be, but this is the time of the year where summer programs are coming up for your children, and you're trying to figure out schedules and cost and everything that goes along with that, and making those decisions. And those are just very small pain points for me right now, just because sometimes I just don't want to. Like, I don't want to make decisions. Can we just not make decisions? But I know that's not reality. So it just kind of happens that way. Some other pain points. Don't laugh at me, you guys. I'm laughing at myself though. Spending money. I don't like to spend large chunks of money at one time. And when you're buying curricula, like you're going to, because if you're buying everything, or a lot of things from christianbooks.com or Amazon, you're going to spend, maybe a couple of $100s in one place. And I'm like, that's too much money. It's really not though. But I struggle with that. And so it makes me a bit of a slower decision maker, because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is right for me, right for my girls, right for our household, and it doesn't blow the budget. So just a few little I call them pain points. Anyway, all right, so exciting things. I talked about coding for my middle daughter, and she gets the opportunity to participate in a competition with the coding projects that she is working on. And so far she has completed, I believe, 3 or 4 coding projects, and she shows them to her class, and the teacher of the class is like praising her for how well she's doing. And she's one of the youngest in the class, and she has just shot up there with coding. I love it. I love it. I love it. She could talk to me about coding all day long, and I'm like, what? But I love it. I love that she is so into it. And so as long as she's into it, I will find a way for her to stay into it. Another thing, which I will share when I start talking about curriculum picks, is that she got bored. She got bored with her math, and she's using Horizons level 5. Now, this is not a reflection of the math curricula itself. It is simply my daughter, and she's very, very math minded. And it's another thing that I just love. Go for it. And so she is well above the 5th grade level Horizons math. She's kind of just, Mom, I got 100. Mom, I got 100. And I'm checking her work, and she's not changing any answers or cheating by any means. She understands the concepts. And so I think she kind of just got a little bit bored. We are toward the end of the curricula, so there are new things that are being introduced still. I believe she's on like lesson 100 and maybe 45 or 50. There are 160 lessons. So like I said, she'll be finishing this up really soon, but I'm just proud of her. I'm proud of her for pushing through and having a desire to just really do the best that she can. So that's been something really exciting to watch for her. My first grader, she is promoted in her gymnastics class, which is awesome. She's so strong, y'all. So strong. And her focus is just really, really good. And of course, not perfection, but to see her thrive in an area and be so young and be the youngest in a class where the next age, I think closest to her, is 8, almost 9 years old. And she's hanging in there with 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds in a gymnastics class. And I don't know where we'll go with this. I don't know what it looks like. I've never had any of my children progress in gymnastics. I did not do gymnastics. Of course, my husband did not either. And so it's interesting to really watch to see where things will go with her for gymnastics. So she got invited to an invite-only summer camp to really hone in on her skills. And I'm pretty sure we're going to go for it. And we'll just see until she decides maybe she doesn't want to do it or whatever. So we kind of let our girls lead when it comes to extracurriculars. We follow their lead, but they do know we have one rule. When you start something for the season, you will finish it for that season. So if you start volleyball in the volleyball season, there's no quitting in the middle of the season. You will work hard. You will continue to work hard until the season is over. And then if you don't want to do it anymore, by all means, you can stop. So we stay committed to what we are doing. All right. Another thing is that her reading, my youngest daughter reading, is just taking off. She's doing so very well, and really just recognizing words and not having to segment them or sound them out or anything like that. She's just progressing really well at that, and she's enjoying reading. We've had a battle this year with school in general, and things are looking up, and I'm so thankful. I'm like, thank God that we just stayed the course and pushed forward and made adjustments as we needed to, but she is doing amazing in her reading. Another thing, which this just happened a couple of days ago, somebody's calling me, y'all. This just happened a couple of days ago, is that she was promoted within her speech therapy class, or class, it's not really a class. But my daughter has been doing very well at speech, and I haven't talked a whole lot about it, but she didn't start talking until she was a lot older, and then we had just speech issues, right? Just with communicating and pronouncing the words and all the things, which is a part of the reason why I chose the Logic of English curriculum, was because I really wanted to hone in on that speech, and they have a lot of help with that with their phonetics. Anyway, She's doing amazing. She got promoted. So instead of her going once a week to speech therapy, she is now going every other week, which is huge because that means that she is getting better and that she will soon probably be on her way out of speech therapy. This is big, y'all. She's been doing speech therapy now this will be the end of her second year of speech therapy. So I wanted to show you guys a chart that she uses. So her biggest struggle with speech therapy is the speed for which she speaks. When she gets really excited, she is like, boom, cheetah speed, right? So her speech therapist gave me this sheet a while back, and she's like, when you see Mallory or you hear Mallory and you're like, hey, you're at a cheetah speed, just say, hey, you're at a cheetah speed and we need you to be here at a weenie dog speed, okay? So it took us a little bit of time for her to understand this because we'd say, okay, you're at a cheetah speed, you're going too fast. Then she would slow all the way down. She goes sloth speed. That's not where we need her to be. So it's been a process, but we have this sheet around our house, and we also have some of the areas where she was struggling, like with S's, R's, CH's, things like that, on our homeschool table and our kitchen table, which is where we spend a majority of our time. And so she is able to look at those cues, and I can say, use your speech sounds, and she'll look down and she's like, oh yeah. It's really been good. So now we're really trying to focus on speed and self-regulation, because when she slows down, she is clear as a bell. But when she's speeding up, everything just runs together. And so that is a great thing, that she is progressing within speech and recognizing when she needs to correct herself. So self-correcting, because I don't always have to say something, or my husband or her siblings. And it's also really helping to build her confidence, because she is able to talk with people and now they can understand her. Whereas before, she would talk and you could definitely tell the look on people's faces. They had no idea what she was saying. Or there are other children and they were like, what? She's weird. I've had people call my child weird because they couldn't understand what she was saying. So this is progression. Y'all, something is killing me. Okay. And so this has helped with her confidence. And so that's really something it's a huge plus in our house. All right. Let's see. Oh, my oldest daughter, she's growing in her volleyball skills, which is amazing. I love to watch it. She's really committed to the sport and working hard. She does semi-private lessons every other week, and it's going great. And if you look at her on the volleyball court, you'd never know she was 12. So I love watching that. And also, she's really holding her own in math. She is not super math minded. She does not struggle with math. It just doesn't come really easy for her. And she's holding her own. She is doing Saxon Math 7-6. And from what I understand, reading and all the things, research and everything, the end of this book, like the last 30 lessons of Saxon Math 7-6, are brutal, okay? And this girl is taking it like a champ. She has not gotten anything less than an 85 on any math lesson or test that she's taken in these last few lessons. And I'm so very proud of her. She's not quitting. She's not getting frustrated, closing the book. She's just digging deep, and she understands that this is the hard work that she needs to do and put in for her math. And I love watching it. So each of my girls are like excelling in some type of extracurricular activity, and they're also excelling in their books. And I make sure to point those out so that they know that I see them. We see you working in multiple areas. I don't always want to focus on extracurriculars or sports, but I always don't want to always focus on the books either. There is a healthy balance, and I try to maintain that balance. And so my girls are each doing great in various areas, and I love to watch it. So it's encouraging to watch them. And this is setting her up to enter into pre-algebra. Now, where we're going with pre-algebra, y'all, I don't know. But she is being prepared for the next level. And this first year of middle school has not been easy for her. It's not been easy for me either, because I had to tighten it up and really work on my boundaries and my expectations for her as well. But it's been good. So that has been exciting to watch in my girls. All right. So things that are making me smile on a daily basis is just watching them come into their own, to take charge of not just their education, but their daily schedules, their extracurricular activities, practicing them speaking up when they have questions or concerns, their relationship growing with each other as siblings. It is a beautiful thing to be able to watch. it's a beautiful thing, you guys, to be able to watch every single day. And I love it. I love the relationship that my girls are developing. It's not perfect. They don't always do everything exactly right. And they're not always, 100% kind to each other. But to watch them and be able to be here and be present for all of it, it brings a smile to my face, warms my heart. I was not supposed to cry. But anyway, so, and another thing that's really making me smile is me making decisions. I am exercising. I am back to exercising on a regular basis, and it feels really good. I have lots of mental clarity. My physical health is even better. And my goal is to just stay consistent with that despite anything. And I also before had an all or nothing mentality, and I don't. I have an all or something. And the program that I'm a part of has really helped me to think about that. And I say it's a program. It's not like this, like I'm not taking any weight loss drugs or anything, but it's a program called E2M, Eager to Motivate. So free pub for them, but it's awesome. And they talk about all or something, in that just give yourself an opportunity to do something. You may not get it all done, but you get something done. And so I'm enjoying that. I am liking being back active, doing it with my girls as well, and making time for me because it really makes me feel good. All right, you guys. So I am down to the last thing, which is my thoughts for the month of February. Overall, the first thing that comes to mind is take your time. Take your time. Take your time with your homeschool, with your time that you spend with your children, with choosing extracurricular activities, things to do for the summer, choosing curriculum. Take your time. I am a slow decision maker, and I'm okay with that. I ponder over decisions because a lot of times you can't go back. You make that decision and it's done, right? And then you have to say, oh, that was a mistake. I rushed into it, and I don't like to rush into things. I like to take my time with things, especially when they're going to affect us and could affect us long term. So I am a decision making slow person is what I'll say to that. But even with curriculum, my plan right now is hopefully to be able to get curriculum picks out and done to you guys in a video by mid-April. And that's typically, I'm typically doing it right now, but I'm taking my time because there are some changes that are happening with our homeschool that are really, really pivotal. I can't talk. Very pivotal. Okay. We need to pivot, okay? In our homeschool, there are some changes that we have to make, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it carefully. And so with that, it takes me a little bit more time. It's taking me more time to get it done, and I don't want to rush that. So if you'll just hang tight, I'll have them ready for you guys. And honestly, I'm also going to the Teach Them Diligently conference, homeschool convention in Branson, Missouri in May. And if I can't pin down something that I'm like 99% sure that I am going to be able to use and want to use and is useful in my homeschool, I may wait until I can put my hands on some things at convention. So I'll let you guys know when curriculum videos come out. There may be some subjects that I don't have anything for specific grade levels. My girls will be going into 2nd, 6th, and 7th grade. And so I'm really going to take my time. And so I just want to tell you guys, take your time. I hope you guys enjoyed this update, unedited and all the things. My phone is going off like crazy, so I'm going to say goodbye and I will see y'all next time.